So it's a privilege to have this guest on. My first guest that I have, my first podcast that I'm hosting. And this individual is a rabbi and director of Chabad of Kendall Pinecrest, Friendship Circle, Mitzvah Kitchen, which helps people that need meals. Additionally, he's a Miami-Dade Chaplain. And he is also, you might have seen on MSNBC, CBS. When I speak to people, they say he could open any door as far as networking. He's a father of 9, and he is Rabbi Harlig, my dad.
Oh, wow. What an introduction. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, all these beautiful things. So it's a great honor to be invited. When you called me, you said, do you want to be my first guest? I said, wow, that's a great honor. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, super exciting. And I'm here, obviously, because you had your dinner commemorating 30 years at Chabad of Kendall Pinecrest, where you started from the ground up. And now you have a dinner with a massive building that you've dreamed and worked upon for so long. And you had Elon Gold there. So tell me a little bit about the feeling of starting from the ground up to this massive building with all these people coming in, your kids flying in to this celebration.
So for me, it was very inspiring and emotional because you think about everything that went into this day. A lot of times people say it takes, overnight you came with 30 years success. No, it wasn't overnight. It was many, many years. And we always share the story of when we moved there, when you were a little baby, actually, and we came here not knowing a person, but coming with the vision and the dream of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, our Rebbe that taught us go out to the community and inspire the community, inspire the world, and inspire the Jewish people. And it was something that you came with that vision and that mission, and you stuck to that vision and mission. Along the way, we obviously opened up for special needs. This is open to the whole community, Jewish people, for the whole, any religion and background, and then went into the food. But what was, really emotional, inspiring for us is that we, you had a vision and a dream, and you just kept at it and not stopped. And then you were able to have what we had last night, is seeing over 300 people, the lives were impacted through this vision and mission.
And what do you think you're most proud of from all that, from all the work that you did and what you accomplished? What do you think is the most?
It's really the people's lives that were impacted. I always believe a building is a great thing, and it's a beautiful thing. You can take a lot of pride walking through it. But it's really not about the building. It's not about the campus. It's really about what happens in the building. So for me, being able to see the lives that we impacted. A lot of people came yesterday who we knew from the beginning, from the landlord of the first shopping center that allowed us to rent space there and actually donated space. And to some of the people I met right when I moved in, see their lives have changed. And hearing feedback from people how us opening up Chabad and Friendship Circle and Mitzvah Kitchen impacted their lives. That is probably, as proud as I am, as good as it feels, the building, it's more the lives that were impacted.
And as far as impacting lives, obviously, I feel like you have to connect with the people to impact them. And obviously, you've done a great job over the time with them. How many people have come more connected, have come to the building. The amount of people that come is increasing. Friendship Circle, which helps kids with special needs. I remember as a kid, maybe there was 10 people. Now there's, hundreds. So what do you think are some key characteristics that you think are of paramount importance to connect with people?
I think people have to feel that you're there for them and you really are interested in their life, because people know right away if you're out to get something from them or versus you have a real interest in them and really wanting to care. I always, a lot of times, obviously, I also have to raise money for it, but you can't look at it only because how many get money from this person. It's really you have to have an interest in people's lives and how they live and what they need in their life and how you can help them in their life. And when they feel that, then automatically they're going to open up and want to connect to you. It was one of the things that I've learned from our mentor, Lubavitcher Rebbe, is to really be there for the people. It's about the people. It's not about you, and that's the key.
And do you find the same characteristics apply to, let's say, maybe people that are very financially successful? Obviously, you've encountered many different people or politicians. Or is that the same, or is it a little bit of a different approach to people that are have different, I guess, levels of success?
I think, listen, you have to know who you're talking to. They have different interests. Some people want to talk to you on a daily basis. Some people, don't want to be bothered at all, and they just want to support you. But it's, again, looking who the person is and what that person needs at that moment in their life. There are people that, for years, don't want a rabbi calling them and be connected to them, but it comes a time in life they need you. So you really have to assess, it's like everything in life, the person and what the person needs and wants at that moment. It could be in a happy time, in a moment of crisis, and based on that, your job is to be there. Because we're really here to serve and to be there for the people. And everyone is very different. Everyone has different needs. So that's, to me, is something very, very important.
So you're not the cause of the Iran war, like Tucker Carlson said.
No. We're not the cause of we're not the cause of the Iran war, and we're not affecting those things. I think having the ability to assess the person and being able to understand them is where you really can connect with people.
Yeah, and so how does that transfer over? Obviously, you connect with all sorts of people, all sorts of backgrounds. How does that transfer over to fundraising? When you need to have a huge budget, you need to fundraise a new building, tens of millions of dollars. Yeah,
the way it translates is, again, they asked, what is the number one reason? They done a study. What is the number one reason why people give to a certain cause? The number one reason why people give is because they were asked. The number one reason. So you ask someone, why did you give money to this and this place? You know what? Because they asked me. So that's the number one reason. And the question really is, okay, after because you asked, is you really have to understand, again, it's the same thing. You have to understand people, and you have to understand what really motivates to give. And based on that, you're able to connect with them and help them understand that through supporting your causes, they'll be able to fulfill what they really want to accomplish in life, what's meaningful to them, and what's really. So it's about the relationship. I was just having a conversation with someone on the way here who works in development. And I said, how do you move a campaign that we did that goes, we made X amount of money to raise another 30% more? Oh, we'll do a deck and we'll do more websites. And I started explaining to them, all these nice presentations are good, but what's really going to get it is relationships with people, going out to coffee with them, talking to them, understanding what they want, and helping them understand that through them getting involved, it's really that it's not only they're doing you a favor, but it's more than that. They're being able to enhance their own life.
And so one characteristic trait that I noticed with you is that you're very comfortable pitching, calling people. Is that something you always had, or is that something you had to cultivate over the years to be comfortable just calling anybody, picking up the phone? As you said, like the biggest thing is they ask, right? But a lot of people may feel intimidated to ask.
Correct. So I think back of a conversation that I had with someone right when the beginning. It was maybe I was ready, moved to Florida, maybe it was 90. I moved in 95, maybe 97, 98. The guy's Murray. His name is Murray. And we're having lunch. I still remember where it was in Miami Beach. And I was going to pitch him. And he turns to me, Murray, he says, I see you're uncomfortable asking me for money. He says, I want to tell you something. He says, you should know, I want to put this out there right now. You're going to ask certain people for money, they're going to give you right away. You're going to ask certain people for money and say, oh, all the rabbi wants is money. There's nothing you could do that's not going to, there's nothing that you could do that's going to stop that result. So don't worry about it. Don't try to get the right answer, the right pitch. Some people are going to love you and going to give you no matter what you're going to say. Some people, no matter what you're going to say, just go out and do it and stop worrying about it. And that's what I came with that. After that meeting, I came with that attitude. You know what? Stop worrying about it. Just do your part, and the rest is going to work itself. All these calculations, maybe they're going to say this and maybe they're going to say that. And there was another story. I would say two stories that really had a big impact to me in fundraising. The other one was, I remember when I was going through zoning originally to buy the property. It was a lot of money for me at that time. It was like $400,000. It was right when I moved. I didn't have no $400,000. I had no connections with banks. And I was going to zoning, and I remember when I went to raise the first $10,000 for deposit, someone told me, Rabbi, if you can't afford a deposit, how are you planning to raise the rest of the money? I said, don't worry about it. Let's take one step at a time. And then I remember hearing a story of the Baal Shem Tov. He was the founder of the Hasidic movement. That one time he was walking down the street, and he knocked on someone's door, and he walked away. And after that, the guy opens up the door. He sees the Baal Shem Tov down the street. He chases after him, and he asks him, what do you want? He said, I'm collecting money for a particular cause. And then he gives the Baal Shem Tov the money. But the students wondered, like, why are you even asking him for money, and why did you walk away? If you needed the money, you should have stayed. So he said it's very simple. He says, God says in the Torah, in the Bible, God will bless you whatever you do. You got to do your part, and God will take care of the rest. So my philosophy is, and if you look at throughout my career, is just knock on doors. Don't overthink it. Knock on doors, make the call, and you never know how the person is going to respond. And that's two stories I would say had a big impact. So that's why I'm not scared. I ask it. The worst thing they'll tell me is no.
Yeah. I just remember as a kid, you always say, don't overthink it. It's like a quote. So in your head, it's like, whether you're telling Chana or whatever, one of our sisters. Yeah, this is funny. Don't overthink it.
A lot of times you overthink. Why are you going to call this person and say this and call? You overthink this, and then what? And it's not relevant, because whatever you think is not going to be. Obviously, you try to figure out a little bit, but just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And what do you think is the reason why so many people connect with your organization, where, you know, you might even have the mayor or people that maybe not even necessarily Jewish that feel, I'm really passionate about this cause. I want to give back. I want to attend. What do you think you're hitting that's really attracting people from all over Florida?
So I think there's really two things. Number one, I have a relationship with these people for different places. You know, as you mentioned at the beginning of the intro, you gave me as a chaplain for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. So I'm involved in a lot of cases where I have relationships with the political leaders. You know, I was very involved with Surfside. I was one of the chaplains there. So I became friends with a lot of them through, you know, those challenging times, or through good times. I do invocations, benedictions. I try to make myself available for the elected officials, that when they need a rabbi, I'm always available for them to talk as a friend, as a mentor, as a guide, as someone to come to give blessings. And number two is also a lot of the programs that we do are programs that really impact the whole community. And if you think about what we do, so we run really three lanes. It's the Chabad Kendall is the overarching organization. It's a Jewish outreach organization based on the Rebbe's philosophy to be there for the community and help everyone in any way they can. And then we learned about Friendship Circle, the concepts, so we started that, and that helps the whole community. So really, as elected official, you have a responsibility to everyone. A segment of the community that was ignored with special needs. So we're fulfilling a need that as elected officials, you have a responsibility to your people. Then in Dade County, at least 15% of people struggling with food insecurity. And now we're starting to make meals. And we're not asking the county to pay us for the meals. We're actually bringing the meals to the citizens of our county and giving them free meals. So I feel that for elected officials, commissioners, mayors, and people in Tallahassee, they feel like by getting involved with us, we're really on the front lines of helping the community. So when you're a commissioner, or you're a state elected official, you're not on the front lines in the sense of being there with the people. And in general, organizations that are faith-based really have a great success in nonprofits of helping the community. So I think it's really two things.
Yeah, I think the services that you offer, it helps anybody in the communities, which is really nice.
But there's another part also that we help a lot, is the volunteering part. And that's the part I love to explain to people. Our Friendship Campus, and I shared this last night, what's so special about it, Chabad Friendship Campus, is we give everyone, anyone who wants, an opportunity to volunteer and make a difference. And that feeling that people say they make it. You know, I read a book once, I read about people that are super wealthy. They could be billionaires, Mendel. But they'll tell you the highs of the life is a particular story that had an impact on a person. They send their private plane. I forgot who it was. I read this book. And they send their private plane to pick up a poor person that needed a heart surgery to go somewhere. That meant more for them than selling a building in Manhattan. So that's another thing that our campus has that's different. Besides that, we help the special needs and food insecurity. We give an opportunity for people to make a difference. You know, at the end of the day, everybody wants to know they can make a difference. Everybody. And once you feel you can make a difference in someone's life, that's a great feeling. And we have so many opportunities for community to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I saw this, but basically, the more you focus on yourself the whole time, the less happy you are, versus once you start focusing on other people, you just become happier.
100%.
It's really counterintuitive, but I see it all the time.
They do it even I was just reading something recently that giving my staff now bonuses and things like that, or paying people to do things, actually works against you sometimes, because then you value it. What is it worth? Like if you told me today, I'll give you $50 to do the podcast. Is $50 worth of me to drive it to do $50? No. But he said, Katie, I want you to be my first guest. So in general, people, when you mix money versus I'm doing to help you, like I'll take you to the airport, I'll pay you $10, take you to the airport, I'm not interested anymore.
Right.
So people naturally want to make a difference.
And as far as, so I know a lot of people, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I would talk about whatever, networking, getting to know people, they'd always say, your dad is one of the best networkers. He could open any door. So any little nuggets on networking and getting to know people? I know you kind of hinted as far as, like, obviously if people feel like you want something from them, it's very different than if you're just trying to be of service, which I'm sure that helps a lot. But anything else? Yeah,
so I think networking is a few things. Number one is going to events and being at places where people are, and don't analyze, oh, that's the most important place to go versus it doesn't mean. You never know who you're going to meet where. And networking is also, I think, is very important to when you meet people, is to find out what they do. And the reason is a lot of people are very uncomfortable. Maybe it's a Jewish thing to do. Some people, I'm in the first conversation, I say, so what do you do? Once they tell me what they do, I'm a printer, I'm a lawyer. And then I start talking about, oh, what you do. I know this person, you know that person. You realize once you start talking about people, what they do, you may right away connect people that you know or they know. And that's a very important thing. And the third thing is to really, people should feel that you have what to talk to them about and have conversations that they're interested in talking about, not what I'm interested in talking about. Some people just, I have to bring you my point, I want to talk about this. No, hear what they have to say, what they're interested in talking about, and then they'll want to talk to you. Because you ever meet someone, all they want to talk about, okay, how do I get out of this conversation?
Yeah.
Get me out of it, I'm stuck in this conversation. So that's an important thing.
So obviously you have very strong social skills. Do you see that deteriorating a little bit in the younger generation due to social media and stuff where they're not getting that skill? Or do you have any insight onto that, or you don't really see that so much?
I could tell you that, the idea of always being on the phone and not connecting with people is definitely takes away from it. Because usually, for example, we have the one day a week of Shabbos where we turn our phones down. I can see myself, I connect much more with people than having the phone with you all the time. So I feel, not because the younger generation is less, it's because they have more devices around that doesn't give them opportunity. Also, you could sit when I was growing up, there was no phones. So you want to meet people, you got to go out. Hey, you can sit on the phone and be on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm guilty at it sometimes myself. And you get your fill of connection, but it's not real connection. So I think it's an issue that people are not connecting before.
And as far as your ability, because obviously, you built this amazing 3-part center, essentially with the Chabad, the Friendship Circle for Kids with Special Needs, and the Mitzvah Kitchen. Along the way, you always had to take on a certain risk, right, to get there. And I remember as a kid, I always thought, okay, I'm kind of too risk averse. Like I saw you were able to take on much more risk. Now I think I went the other way. But is that natural for you to be comfortable taking on risk? Is that something you cultivated?
No, I think that's natural for me. I think I'm more comfortable in that realm. I find my endorphins, or whatever you want to call it, I'm more alive when I'm in. Right. I feel I take calculated risks, right. And I get excited and motivated and driven when it's something new, and let me figure out how we're going to get to it and how we're going to build it. That's when I'm the most alive and the most driven. Day-to-day things, this idea, we brought EOS into our organization.
What's EOS?
EOS is Entrepreneur Operational System. There's about 600-700 companies that run an EOS. And so they say that you have a visionary, you have an integrator. Visionaries have the big picture. They live on 15 different lanes at the same time, and they keep jumping from lane to lane, which is great, but you need an integrator to kind of put everything down into place. I'm more of the visionary that has that, and that's where I'm alive the most. Versus telling me to put in protocols for staff and keep up with staff and all that, for me, that's stressful. So it's a different personality. So for me, it's like a rabbi came out to the campus. He said, Rabbi, he tells me, I'm not envious of you. All I see is bills. I'm the opposite. All I see is opportunity. I get excited about that. That's when I'm the most alive. And maybe in challenges, that's when I'm the most excited.
Yeah.
I'm wired that way, Miss Probably.
Yeah, I could see that. So it's kind of like if in the business sense, you focus more on the revenue side, like bringing in revenue versus like cutting costs. Like how could I bring in more versus like where can I cut? Which is, I think, more on the offensive side than the defensive side.
Correct. And I remember when I was building the building, we have a board, and they were telling me, "Oh, what's your budget and how you have the money?" I said, if I had that attitude, I would never build this building. You're starting to talk to me about my brain doesn't operate that way. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And what the exciting thing is when you're in these situations, you figure out how to make it work, and that's exciting. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. We'll figure it out.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Just figure it out. But you got to work hard.
Yeah. And so, how much of this is it you pushing yourself? Like, hey, I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, or you're just in bliss? Like, I love what I'm doing. Like, how much is it a struggle versus you love what you're doing?
The part that we just spoke about.
As far as like speaking to random people, trying to fundraise, doing more things. Do you feel like, hey, I need to push myself. I need to go out of my comfort zone. I don't like this, but I need to go speak to somebody, or I'm loving what I'm doing. How much is it pushing versus just bliss?
I would say in general, I enjoy it. It's weird, but people say, there's two things that people hate doing. Public speaking and fundraising. I happen to like both.
Nice. So
for me, this whole thing is not work. I enjoy it. Like today, someone said, why don't you take a day off? I said, why would I want to take a day off? I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I'm not a big believer in work-life balance. If you want to get work done, if you want to be to me, this is perfect. I like it. Like someone says, why don't you take a day off? I said, why should I actually enjoy this work? I don't say I enjoy everything about the work, but this part of my job, I enjoy. I love it. I love this challenge. That's what gets me motivated.
Yeah, and I see it like firsthand, like 5:30 a.m. you're working, 9 p.m.
I was working today, 5:30 already today.
5:30 is working. And so you hit on something that was interesting. You're talking about is what you like to do. So how do you think passion is a very important part as far as the ability to get things done, or it's like, you could just power through?
100%. I think people around you feel your passion and excitement. People always joke, hey, Todd, this is a new passion. Now it's mitzvah kitchen. I find new things to get involved with. So 100%, it's your passion and your excitement that gets people excited. Because when I was telling people this idea, they looked at me like, what are you dreaming? What are you smoking? So it's like, so people feel your passion and excitement, and that usually gets the people passionate, excited around you.
Yeah. And so like when you're pitching something to somebody, how much is it like logistics? Like, I know you mentioned last night, hey, I had a 45-minute presentation for somebody, and he just tell me in the beginning how much I want. Yeah. So do you find it more just the passion leading, or you actually have to do, like, let's say someone has a lot of money and you want them to give a donation. How much is it, or does it depend specifically on the person as far as getting your ducks in order, your budget, this and that, versus, okay, this person's passionate, they like the cause.
So I usually tell you, like 2 weeks ago, we got a very significant donation. I never met the guy. I thought it was fraud in the beginning. Who gives me such a significant donation? It was like $18,000. It's like, no one sends me $18,000 without talking to me. So that money came in. The lady I met the person is because he was looking to give charity, 3 charities. He told his wife, why don't you find a charity that's connected to special needs? She's ChatGPT and Jewish and special needs they wanted. And it came up, and then they went to Navigator, Charity Navigator, so we scored high. So there was a place they didn't really meet me. ChatGPT said it. But in general, people give what you feel you deserve to get, and they feel your passion and excitement. When they feel you're passionate and excited about it, you can get them to be passionate and excited. But don't sell something if you're not passionate and excited about it. Right. I tell people, some people say, let me go into the special needs world. It's a good way to raise them. I said, no. You got to do something what you're passionate about. And if you're passionate and excited about whatever it is, the people around you may be too.
That's fine. I just saw something on sale. They said that the best thing is just conviction. Like, do you believe in what you're selling or not?
100%. Right. If you don't believe in it, and anything you sell, you have Harlig Financials. If you don't believe that you're really good at it,
Right.
but if you're really passionate, excited about it, people are going to be excited and passionate with you.
Right. So let's segue to, because obviously you're doing all these amazing things in the community, but you're also a father of 9. When I tell people you have 8 siblings, they're like, what? How, that's a crazy amount. So what is it like as a father having 9 kids plus everything you're doing?
Let me hear from you. You were raised by a father that always was working a lot, so how was it for you?
For me, it's funny because it's like when it's the only thing you know, you don't have a comparison. It's not like, hey, I had 2 jobs and like I compare the 2 jobs. So obviously, you know, there's never a dull moment in the family. There's a lot going on. You never have to worry about that. Getting everyone together is always a mission, flying from here, flying from there. I learned a lot of great skills and important life lessons from you and Mom, as far as, you know, a lot of things we touched upon, like giving back to the community, work ethic, all these sort of things. So I think, and also just learning how to interact with people. So I think I got a lot of valuable skills that a lot of people don't get exposure to, and a lot of valuable, meaningful nuggets that I could take with me.
Right. So I think number one, you asked me, so your question was, what is it to being a father of 9 kids and all that? I think it's, you know, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. I was blessed with an amazing wife that, you know, carries a lot of, you know, raising the family. And I'm not saying I'm there every day on the phone like your mother does every day calling the kids, but I feel the kids know that if they need me during the day, I'll always pick up and deal with whatever issues is in front of them and they need help with. And hopefully that's what they realize that.
Yeah, I think they know, like if there's a crisis, we know who to call. Well, at least not me, because I'm older, but the younger kids.
No, it's not that. It's not that. My point is that it may not be middle of the day. How you doing? What's going on? In the middle of the day, okay, you have something. If there's something going on, I'll stop my day, stop everything to be there for them.
And also family things. You're always making sure everyone's together, getting everything together. When the family comes together, you're very keen on being there and making sure
Correct.
we have the family time.
Right.
And so obviously one of my brothers, one of your sons, has autism. How is that dealing with a kid that can't do everything? That you want to see your kid develop to a full independent person, and they can't do everything.
Right. So in the beginning, it was very difficult. You know, you had to accept it. You know, there was a lot of frustration, disappointment, anger. You know, you go through all the emotions in the beginning. And then eventually you learn to accept it and realize that this is where you got to, you know, this is, you know, the hand that was dealt, and you have to accept it. One thing I never said is why me. I just don't think about that. It is what it is. This is what God wanted me to have, and this is what I have to deal with. So now, you know, it's just one of those things you get used to. You know, in life, you know, I remember hearing a long time ago a lecture from someone that talking about someone that lost a child. And he said, you know, the rock never goes away. You just learn how to carry the rock. Understand? The rock is always there, but you just learn how to carry it. So same thing for us. You know, he's 17 today. He's a great kid. You know, he has his challenges. But already became, you know, I'm a big believer in life. You just learn how to adjust and kind of deal with it. So today's days, you know, it has challenging days to raise a child with special needs. But from an emotional standpoint, you know, I'm very like... I'm not going to sit and talk about it. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Just to sit and analyze it. So,
is there any insight? Because obviously no one knows the full depth of it unless you're a parent. Is there anything that would be interesting to tell people? Any like that they don't have exposure to, as far as how to do, like what to do, how hard it is, or what to do, or something like that they don't get to see? Right.
So I think the number one thing is, and I've said this for other people, nobody wants to feel that you have pity for them. No, it's a very common. I remember hearing this from a woman that her husband was killed. She was, and someone else whose daughter was killed. And I remember listening to them, and the same thing people repeat all the time. The hardest thing for people is when they walk into a room and people are, oh, that's the person whose husband was killed. That's the person. So I think the idea of feeling bad for me, even now, some people tell me, like we're talking, I meet people with special needs, French circle, donors say, oh, thank God I don't have a kid with special needs. It never bothers me when I hear the people saying that about themselves, which they're right. But you don't want pity.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want, I'm talking about for myself, I don't know about other people. You don't want pity. You want to look at it, have a great life, beautiful family. Everyone has handled something they have to deal with. And it's something that, you recognize that it's something that you have to work with. And the other thing is also, don't be judgmental of them. Don't judge them. Meaning, some kids are harder, some kids are easier, and the third thing is, don't give unsolicited advice. If they want your advice, they'll ask you for advice. Don't give unsolicited advice. And those are the things that people have to understand.
Yeah, I really like the part about kind of the attitude, because that's like a lot of times you're dealt a hand of cards, and that's the only thing you control is your perspective.
Correct.
Like Viktor Frankl talks about man searching for meaning. These people were in the Holocaust, and the only thing they could control is their attitude. That's the only thing that you could control always. So I really like that. Okay, so people ask me this question, so I want to ask it on here.
People ask you this question?
What do your parents think? Well, mom's not here, so it's you. What do your parents think about you, like your lifestyle?
They're not married yet?
Yeah, but, well, I guess
you can find your shidduch, yeah.
I guess you could take this question how it is. What do you think? Because they ask you, like, what do your parents think? Because they know you're a rabbi. I'm not a rabbi. What do you think?
What do I think about what?
About my lifestyle.
Oh, you didn't ask me what I think. I think about your lifestyle?
Yeah.
I'd like you to be married.
Okay.
I'd like you to, can we have on-the-air conversations?
Oh, God, this is not joking.
Yes, I'd like you to be married already. What do I think about it? I'm very proud of you. I know I was actually thought you were making a mistake of leaving your company and starting this thing. So that part of it, but now I see that I was wrong, because I see how passionate you are to go on your own and do Harlig Financials. I'm actually very impressed. I think you're very driven, and I agree with now a lot of things you say. I think in general, we have 9 kids. We're blessed with 9 children. Everyone is unique and is special. And for me, it's looking at someone like you that is very dedicated, very hardworking, very honest, very responsible. I'm very proud of you, and proud that you're a person that is really dedicated to what you do. It could be from exercise to dieting to being Jewish and being a proud Jew and being strict in the level that's important to you. So to me, I have a lot of pride in that. I always tell this to other parents. Our kids are not nachas machines, meaning...
Nachas is like...
nachas meaning be proud. Meaning, I had my wife, your mother and I have a responsibility to raise our kids. Once they're raised, they have to choose the life that is important to them or how they want to live. And I'm very proud of that. And if someone's exactly one way, not exactly another way, it's their life. I did my responsibility, and now you got to do your part. And so, to me, I feel that you're very dedicated and hardworking, and it's really great.
You guys heard it here, okay? So you guys don't need to ask me again. I'll just send you this clip.
What did you say? What did you tell people when they asked?
I said, this is what I said, and you could disagree with it. I said they're happy with my path. They came to accept it. I think they probably hoped that I would go more to their path, but they're happy with where I came to.
So you're asking me, if I had to pick a choice, you'd be a Chabad rabbi in the Chabad center versus doing this? Of course, as parents, you may say, okay, if I had to pick one versus the other, but that's not the whole picture. That's not the beginning and end of everything. That means if you chose this path, but there's a lot of other things you're wrong, it would bother me. We all want our kids to be better than us. So that's something that's important. But I look at it that you have a lot of amazing qualities that we're very proud of. So
nice. And so we're gonna end.
Did I tell you anything that you didn't expect?
No, I didn't expect it. I just people always ask him okay, let me bring this up on the podcast. Oh, this is a great answer.
So when you bring your mother to the podcast,
the next time I'll get her perspective. If she doesn't make me cut it out. Okay, so rapid fire. We gotta wrap this up. But this was an awesome conversation. Obviously, a lot more that we could get into. So just quick, 20 seconds. What is the hardest moment you had in leadership? Obviously, you've been Surfside, community meeting, all tons of people. What do you think was your hardest moment?
The hardest moment is just recently we had a situation where parents were murder-suicide, and 2 of the kids we knew.
Oh, that's true.
Right, like 2 months ago, and sitting with them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the kid found the father. Sitting with those 2 kids probably broke my heart the most. A 13-year-old and 11-year-old. We're talking about as a rabbi. That's my rabbi cap then wearing. Probably that was the most difficult moment. It's so painful. Even until today, it's painful to think of the story. Yeah. And doing a double funeral.
And I feel like it probably go back to your theme, like you can't give advice, you kind of just have to be there for them.
You have to, in general, when it comes to, people always ask me, how do you get comfort? Because I dealt with Surfside, then it's the same thing. You don't say anything. Just stay there and give them a hug, because there's nothing to say.
Right. And so what do you think is the most important trait for success? I know we talked about a lot of things.
I think having something that you believe in and staying focused to it, and just continuously not staying on track of staying focused on what you believe in and not giving up. Because to me, it's always because it can't work. I know why it can't work. Let's focus on why it could work.
Right. Just never stopping.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson about people, obviously, interactions with everyone.
I think people love the lesson about people is people want to feel that you really care about who they are and care about them, and you're there for them.
And then something people misunderstand about rabbis. What do you see if people think one way about you and it's not?
I think people misunderstand rabbis. We're not perfect.
True.
And people think, oh, well, the rabbi was there, didn't say hello to me. He came to the house and he ignored me. Or he didn't return my calls. You know what? We're all human beings like everybody else. We all have bad moods. We have hard days. We have challenges in our life like everybody else. We go through all these kind of things. And a lot of times you say, oh, I don't want to go to the synagogue anymore. I don't want to go here. I'm angry at Judaism because the rabbi did this and did that. First of all, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. We have insecurities also. We have egos also. We have bad days. We have good days. We have things that we can't get our act together. And we have things that we're better at and worse. We're just like human beings. Just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more educated. But I think people have to understand that. And we're trying to do the best job we can to inspire people and change people's lives.
And final question, any advice for me? Only 20 seconds. It can't be 5 minutes long.
Oh, right.
We got to take.
I think any advice to you, I think your method of life, of everything you've done, exercise and dieting, everything else, if you stick to that method and continue staying focused on what you want to do, you're going to be very successful.
Wow, and that's a wrap. What a great first podcast.
Yes.
Had so much fun with my father. Thank you so much for coming out, and hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be interviewed by my own son.